This time on Monkey Life, baby orangutan Sylvester makes his mark with the new nursery boss.
He's able to interact with Ame, because obviously at first Oisin did not allow that.
There's a whole lot of shaking going on with Butches chimpanzees.
They seem to be really excited. There's lots of screaming going on.
And will the spider monkeys finally make it to the great outdoors?
We want them to come out and enjoy themselves and swing about like spider monkeys should be.
Monkey World, tucked deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and neglected primates from all over the world.
It's a new forest with a new family group of gibbons coming, and hopefully everybody will grow up and mature together.
The park is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes from 19 different species, and the aim is to give them a safe home for life. Another day dawns at Monkey World, and the team are determined to get the spider monkeys into their spanking new outside enclosure. They've already tried persuasion, but now it's down to bribery.
We're just prepping the spider monkey outside with some of the fruit from their AM feed. It's a bit of the nicer food from the feed, so it's a nice encouragement for them to come out because they know they're going to get something tasty from it.
Yesterday, they thought the spiders would be keen to rush outside as soon as they opened the doors. But Hickory, Flint and Pumpkin proved everyone wrong. Flint was the only one brave enough to consider the new enclosure, and just when it looked like he'd made it to the trees, his courage failed him. It was all too strange for these spiders, who've had a lot to get used to. They're sharing a house with a very noisy crew.
I think to begin with, all the crazy capuchins surrounding them was a little bit intimidating, but they've just got used to the hustle and bustle of that now, and we've built this enclosure for them. We want them to come out and enjoy themselves and swing about like spider monkeys should be.
Hopefully today they'll have the confidence to go a bit further. First off the mark is Pumpkin, who last time barely made any headway. Today, she's going straight for the goodies without hesitation.
She really loves her food, so that was one of the big motivators, I think, for coming out. And now that she's out, she just seems really happy and confident and just moving about the place really well.
Flint's next out. He's been this far before and chickened out. But this morning, his belly's got the better of him, and he's enjoying breakfast in his posh new garden.
I think seeing them out in the enclosure is really useful because obviously they're more active, so you can actually see how fit they are, how well they move. And I think it also helps us know their personalities. You know, if they were quite quiet in the bedrooms and now they're out playing around, we know a lot more about them, and we can see that they just needed the space and play around in the enclosure.
There's one shy spider monkey still to make his way through the tunnel. But with fresh fruit on offer, even timid Hickory eventually plucks up his courage. It's not long before all three spider monkeys are exploring every nook and cranny.
We're really happy to see them out here. Obviously, the enclosure we built for them so that it would be really fun for them to go out in. It's got loads of hosing, loads of layers, because spider monkeys are big climbers and they're chatting away as they do it, making lots of happy noises. I think they really are enjoying it.
At the Orang nursery, the youngsters are romping around and enjoying life to the full, without a care in the world. But there's been a bit of an atmosphere between the two grown-ups in there since Ame returned, after a spell with Gordon's group. In her absence, Oisin was the boss, and the kids looked up to her. Now Ame's back, Oisin has to share, and it's not her strong point.
Initially, we thought maybe she would regain a little bit of the dominancy just because Ame had been away for so long. But no, Ame's come back. She's taken that position back.
Ame's used stealth rather than strength.
She didn't go in all guns blazing. She went in nice and slowly. I'm just re-establishing myself in a nice, slow way. And that's exactly how you have to play it with Oisin. If you're not in Oisin's face, she's much more interested in why aren't you in my face? I'm going to go up to you and ask ask you why you're not.
Ever since she came to the park, Ame has fitted right in, and the kids loved her.
She's very protective of the little ones and also a very good disciplinarian. So as a role as a mum, she's fantastic.
Ame had a hand in rearing most of the nursery youngsters.
I think the kids are really enjoying having Ame back in the nursery, particularly Jolie. When they lived together in the old building, she had a very close relationship with Ame, and Ame did literally take her on as her own daughter. So I think she's very pleased she's back.
But she didn't know baby Sylvester, and if Oisin had her way, she never would. To start with, Oisin wouldn't let him go anywhere near her rival. But 2 weeks on, she's much more relaxed.
Now you'll see he's far away from Oisin, she moves around independently from him, and he's then able to interact with Ame, because obviously at first he wasn't allowed to. Oisin did not allow that.
For now, Oisin and Ame have called a truce. Ame's just glad to be home.
We're all so happy that she's back here, just because she seems to have returned to her old self. I think her period in Gordon, she was a little bit unhappy. She was obviously wary of Gordon most of the time, so we did lose a little bit of the sparkle that Ame has, and she's certainly regained that since she came back.
At the Bachelor Pavilions, there's a treat in store for the boys. The team are positioning special chimp-proof goodie bags all around the enclosure.
As you can see, they're really robust, which is great for the chimps because they destroy absolutely everything.
Each container's already been packed with their favourite fillings.
Some are ice lollies, so they've got some frozen squash with grapes and nice treats inside. Others have some jelly. And again, we've stuffed some with some fruits, some honey, some grapes, some nice treats, really, just to keep them busy.
Chimps in the wild will use twigs as tools to get at ants and termites to eat, so the care staff are putting out lots of branches that they can use to forage with.
Hopefully they'll grab the browse, they'll stick it in the toys, get some of the jelly off, some of the honey off. Makes it a bit harder for them, makes them work for it a little bit.
And the boughs also have other uses.
Even if they can't get one of the treats, they've still got browse to play with. They can play about, hit each other with it, eat it as well. So it's a bit of fun for them.
There's mad excitement as the gang rush in and make for the feast. The gaudy colours have caught their eye, but what's inside is their main concern.
They seem to be really excited. There's lots of screaming going on. Some of them are a little bit worried. It's something a little bit different, a little bit new for them. And there's lots of good noises coming out of it.
High ranker Paco can't contain himself. He's rock and rolling on top of his world.
He generally tends to go to one of the highest poles and does a massive big display. When he starts doing that, it generally gets the whole group going.
There's plenty to go round, but as usual, the dominant guys grab more than their fair share.
Buxom at the moment has 3. Normally, as a high ranker, he will get quite a few, and he doesn't seem to be bothered about having to work for his food. He quite enjoys it.
He's having such a good time that he doesn't even notice when Mojo sneaks in and makes off with one. Boss Butch looks like he's done this before and soon gets his reward. But others are struggling, even with toes to help. One clever chimp has got the hang of using the twigs.
I have seen Paquito, he has attempted to, but I think most of them are quite happy just to turn it upside down, rattle and shake it.
Whatever technique they use, it's taking a lot of effort to get at these goodies. And some of the chimps who are usually in the thick of it have opted out to relax in the sun.
Normally, when we give out enrichment, the high rankers come in, take it all, and the low rankers get whatever's left over. But for some reason today, the high rankers don't seem as interested in the enrichment, and all of the low rankers have got it, particularly Paquito, Freddie, Rocky. They're loving it.
Even young Seamus has managed to nab himself a piece of the action.
Normally he gets things taken off him, but he's very sneaky. He's hidden away. It's great to see him actually getting something. He's such a character, he's so lovable. He acts the baby quite a lot, which makes us love him even more. He's not the brightest chimp in the world. As long as he's got something to play with, he's happy.
And happy chimps make all the effort worthwhile.
This group was one of the nicest groups to work with. They've got so many different personalities. You've got your cute ones, you've got your funny ones, you've got your dead serious ones, but there is never a dull moment, never a dull moment.
Bueno Jr., the latest woolly monkey to be born at Monkey World, is just 4 weeks old, and Alison's been hand-rearing him from day one.
He's doing really well, and I couldn't be happier, actually. The fact that he's progressing as well as he is, I'm really pleased about, and he's actually a really well-adapted, confident little lad in himself that perhaps isn't quite as needy as some of the others that I've had. So, yeah, really happy with Junior.
Junior was born by caesarean section, and when his mother Sarah came round from the anaesthetic, she was alarmed to find the baby clinging to her. In her haste to get him off, she seriously damaged the base of his tail, and they were worried he might never have full use of it.
Luckily, that doesn't seem to be the case. We've been very cautious with it. And as you can see now, it's really knitted together, and there's one stitch left in the middle of it. And the tail itself, you can see there we have full prehensile tail gripping on, and he's getting better and better day by day. So really couldn't be happier. He's already going for his lunch. All right, should we show them what you got? Look. Oh, good boy.
Junior has already got a full set of baby teeth, and he's making short work of his mashed banana. Everything Alison does is aimed at getting him back with his family quickly and safely.
Before he can go back and join his group, I need him to be doing two things. He has to be able to move around his environment well enough in a coordinated way. So he has to have good control of his hands, his legs, his feet, and his tail. And he has to be able to feed himself to a certain degree, just at least little bits of food that he can pick up from his hand into his mouth in a meaningful way and eat. What's this?
And it looks like he could be doing all that earlier than expected.
We'll give it our all to get him to a state where he can go back and join the others as soon as possible. So all of this getting him going in the physical development. And look at the strength in that tail. That's just brilliant. Really pleased for him. Good little man.
While Junior's foster mum is caring for his every need, his real mum Sarah is getting on with her own life back in Chippy's group. She's showing no signs of missing him.
It's been a few weeks now since Sarah's had her caesarean. She's coped with it really, really well. She's recovered fantastically. And the only thing that's different about her at the moment is the fact that she's got a big bald belly and a scar running up there as well. Apart from that, as far as she's concerned, everything's normal.
The team didn't want to keep Sarah away from the rest of her troop longer than they had to.
What we find with woolly monkeys is that they can get very, very stressed when they're separated from their group. So we only do it when it's completely necessary, and we don't do it for any longer than is necessary. So she went back in with the group the next day following the operation, and she settled in with them really well. She was really pleased to see them, and they were really pleased to see her as well.
With a new dominant male in charge, they're hoping it won't be long before Sarah gets another go at being a mum.
Now that she's no longer pregnant, hopefully over the course of the next few weeks or months, we'll start to see a bit more interest from her towards Chippy. But certainly at the moment, what we're seeing is that Chippy is very interested in Sarah and he just seems to absolutely adore her. So hopefully it's not going to take too long before Sarah's starting to show those same feelings towards Chippy.
There have been a lot of changes in the past year for the park's marmosets. There are 12 new arrivals, with unusually 3 babies born. There's a brand new purpose-built housing complex for them, and Lucky and Gizmo are making the most of their new surroundings. Lucky and Gizmo were rescued as a pair, and unbeknown to anyone, Lucky was already pregnant. They're now the proud parents of twin girls Chica and Chuva.
Babies are growing up quite fast. They're about 4 months now, but they're doing really, really well, and they're both kind of growing stronger and stronger and putting on weight, which is really good, really regularly, so we've had to up their food.
The family of 4 make up their own little group.
They're doing really well and loving the outside and getting more and more confident as the days go by.
They've got a home which will stimulate natural behaviour, a far cry from their earlier life in the pet trade.
They're very curious individuals, and obviously they are a primate, so they're quite intelligent too. So it's very important to keep them busy. So obviously we put different things in the outside for them, take down ropes, put new ropes up to kind of keep them curious and keep them trying to find things and explore the enclosure as much as they can.
And while Lucky and Gizmo enjoy themselves outside, indoors Emily is packing some new toys with goodies for Mad Max and his newfound friend James.
I'm just putting a couple of treats in, the main ones being a few monkey nuts and the others being some insects, particularly waxworms. The reason I've chosen that is because I know that both Max and James do like these items, so hopefully that'll encourage them to take part in the enrichment.
Just like in the wild, the 2 boys will have to work hard to get their food.
Ready then, boys?
Daring Max can't wait to investigate, but less experienced James doesn't quite get the hang of it first time round. And curious Max quickly tucks in.
Any kind of object, particularly anything like shiny or colourful, anything like that completely grabs Max's attention straight away. He doesn't hold back, whereas some marmosets, they definitely always want to go and see what the new thing is about, but often some of them will be quite shy and timid and it's a new thing and they could be a little bit scared of it. Max doesn't show any of that at all, ever.
When young James arrived at the park, he seemed to have a digestive problem. He was sick whenever he ate something, which meant he wasn't getting all the nutrition he needed. He was eventually diagnosed with a condition called megaesophagus, which means his throat is enlarged and the muscles don't work well enough to keep his meals down. But with careful feeding, there's been a marked improvement.
He's actually doing really, really well. He's not on any medication for it. We're just actually managing it all kind of dietary-wise. So obviously we just watch what he eats. We weigh him very regularly. We try and weigh him every fortnight. And we also give him extras as well throughout the day, just to make sure that he is getting enough calories. His weight is really, really good. He's actually at the highest weight he's ever been since he's been here. So that's fantastic.
And James's arrival has brightened up Max's social life. Before coming to the park, he'd lived on his own and never learnt to mix with others. The team had tried introducing Max to 12 different marmosets before James, with no success. With James, it was a different story, and the pair soon became best pals.
It was actually a complete surprise to all of us here, and I think that a lot of it has to do with James's personality, the fact that he is so laid back and easygoing, and just an all-round really, really nice marmoset. It's absolutely fantastic for both of them to be able to get on and live together.
Throughout the year, the team at Monkey World have succeeded in giving monkeys and apes a better life. They've continued to work with the RSPCA and police to provide a home for badly treated victims of the pet trade. And irresponsible owners have been prosecuted and banned for life from owning primates. 2 new species have been welcomed to the park, including Jethro the Saki monkey.
You're a beautiful little man. Good boy.
And spider monkeys Pumpkin, Hickory and Flint. The work with endangered species goes on, and as well as Bueno Jr., baby Ava was an exciting addition to the woolly monkeys.
We finally have a girl, so it's fantastic for the breeding programme.
Since Jim Cronin first opened the park offering sanctuary to ill-treated primates over 25 years ago, hundreds of monkeys and apes have been given a safe haven to live out their days in as natural an environment as possible. But as a result of the trade in primates, there are still many suffering in unsuitable homes in the UK, like baby Leo, who has broken bones from poor nutrition.
Once again, we're being pushed to the limit.
In the next series, there's political friction in Hananya's chimpanzee group, and he needs to assert his authority. It's time for 6-year-old golden-cheeked gibbon Tien to move on and find a mate.
You know, Tien's time has really come. He's up at the top of a tree singing a song announcing himself.
And young orangutan Jin needs to graduate to the nursery and find new friends.
Oh, well done! The whole tribe.
Alison's work with vulnerable primates in Vietnam continues, and she'll be back at Dao Tien hoping another pair of golden-cheeked gibbons will survive back in the wild.
We've just heard a big crash. It's either a limb, it could be limb win, I don't know. They're all chasing around, but we'll go and see.